doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Good morning. Another sunny day. Got some rain last night. Today I whipped out the second of the last two of my project piles. As you know, recently I got that lawn boy going, and that's generating some interest. Maybe I'll get that sold sometime soon. But this one I think is going to be quite a challenge. While it is a Scott's by John Deere, and the deck is in pretty decent shape with good wheels, this engine is the model that's before the Quantum, and it's pretty old. It's also been left outside. You can tell by the muffler shield it's all rusted up. It does have decent oil in it at levels. Gas tank is completely dry with a little bit of glistening, not completely dry, but a little bit of glistening. And the pull rope is seized, which means that this has been sitting outside for such a long time that probably the flywheel has rusted and fused to the Magneto. So what we have to do is, you gotta see if this thing runs first, right? So I gotta take this top cover off, get to the flywheel, put a breaker bar on it, and try to break it loose from the Magneto. At least try to get the engine spinning. Then after that, it's another ball of wax, because I believe the rear self-propulsion engagement bail handle cable is busted, as well as the flywheel brake kill assembly cable. The bail cable is busted too. From what I remember of this model, the cable is like 50 bucks. Ridiculous. So I might have to fabricate. I think I just breathed in some pollen. That's no good. As you guys saw from time lapse, it was dirty. It's a dirty job. Check out all the shit that came out of there. Holy cow. There was like a bird's nest in there. I'm sorry, a rat's nest in there. Fortunately, there was, actually, unfortunately, I never really get to see any mice. There was no mice in there. It was just really packed with a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Pardon my Chinese. This is a 15/16. It had so much rust buildup in here that I had to kind of clear it. Otherwise, the socket wouldn't even fit. So let's try to break. You know, this Magneto looks Dunsky. I would be really surprised if this gave off any spark. I mean, I'd be really surprised. Ooh, moved. Look at that. It is free! The Magneto is free from its, whatever you call it. So there you go. We freed it up. That was my whole purpose, was to do that. I'm gonna clean up that magnet a little bit. I don't know. I really don't think that's gonna work. What do you guys think? Just from looking at it, I just don't think that Magneto is going to give off any spark. I guess I should take it off and try to test it. But the conundrum is this. If I try to remove it, and look at these bolts, I could actually do more damage to this whole thing than I intended. Let's say the Magneto does work, and my thinking it doesn't work, I try to remove the bolts from this rusted piece of junk, right? And then I bust the bolts and or the posts of the block. Well, then the whole project's over. You know what I mean? Or I could just leave it and test it and see if it works, and without having to mess with it, you know? I think maybe I should do that, given the condition of the Magneto. Or I could try to test it while it's on there, but I don't think it'll work. I think because it's grounded to the engine block, you're not going to get a good reading. Alright, so I just put the multimeter on ohms 20,000 to this, and I don't get anything because it's grounded. You know what I mean? So look, I'm just going to give it a slight attempt. And I know this... All right, here we go. We got the right socket now, or bit. I'm just gonna go a little bit. Ooh. Ooh, it worked. As long as I don't screw up the post, I'm okay. Because I'm pretty sure I have another Magneto. Yeah, baby. Successfully removed the Magneto. Because honestly, we have to give this engine a fighting chance to maybe start. And this Magneto has to be Dunsky. It just has to be. Look. It's terrible. Looky, looky here. I got another one. Looks just like it. Let's test it. If it's anything over 2.5, it's gooda. .72. So according to this, it's gooda. 4.73. So there you go. Now I'm gonna take the busted one, since it's off, not off, off. We can at least try to test and see if it's good. I got nothing. So this was a smart decision to take this Magneto off because it's busted. I have a buzziness card, or you guys would call it business card, to set the air gap, which is about 10 thousandths. Just gonna clean up that magnet, give it a fighting chance. Okay, I just cleaned up the magnet, as you can see. That's pretty nice, right? And you want to try to get the posts too. This is kind of hard. Also, look at this. The flywheel brake assembly is frozen, fused, rusted, which is why I pulled down on that bail handle and this thing doesn't move at all. So I have to try to free this right now. Okay, finally got the Magneto on there, and also I loosened up the brake cable. So check out the assembly right here. This metal tab is not touching the kill, so this will now release it from the kill. And when you let go of the bail handle, it retracts and touches the kill, which kills the engine. There's not a lot of movement because the cable is only going maybe ½ an inch, but I but I bent the tab so that all it took was less than ½ an inch for you to depress the bail handle for it to release from the kill. And that's all you need. You just need a space in between. And when you let go, it touches. Once it touches, it kills the engine. So it looks like we saved a bail handle cable. So I'm just going to put this all back together again. And we'll see if it'll turn over from some starter fluid. Another problem is that this thing is so rusted that you pull it out and it doesn't go back again. Tried to grease it, oil it, lube it, won't turn back again. I think the coil inside is all rusted. So I have to go find a new recoil starter for this. I think I have one in the back somewhere. I have a bunch of these, but you know, the cutouts are different, you know, auto choke, all that stuff. I went to the back shed. I told you I had a bunch of them. This is the original one. It's pulled out, won't retract anymore no matter what I do. It's very difficult to turn this. So it's all rusted on the inside. So I found this Murray. It fits perfectly. If you look at the cutouts here, they have different cutouts. You can see cutouts here are identical right here, see? They're exactly the same. On the other side, it differs a little, but I tried it and it fits. Fits perfectly. Holes match up. Doesn't bind on anything. Doesn't get in the way of anything. This part here is unimpeded. There we go. So when I put it on, the cutouts weren't exactly the same on the right hand side, and just that little millimeter of extra sheet metal that was on this one that one didn't have, it impeded the brake mechanism from moving. So I just took a screwdriver and I pried that area inwards so that it doesn't touch. This is covered by a shroud anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I took the air filter base off, as well as the air filter, the air filter cover. I'm just spraying some ether in there. It's the kind that goes down the air filter base and into the carburetor, but it doesn't really get it in there, you know? So I don't know if this will work. So I don't think that fluid is getting into the manifold well. So let's take off this air filter base. Try to get to the mouth of the carburetor. Yuck. That carburetor is definitely going to be dirty, because look, there's like old oil or mud that's in here. And also this primer bulb is Dunsky. You know, it looks like a regular quantum carburetor. Let's spray through the intake manifold. Now let's try it. gonna have to get a new cord, because look, this one's gonna be Dunsky. I don't think we're getting any spark, and it looks like I have to replace this coil, this rope. You know, usually I say it's almost never the spark plug. I probably change the spark plug once out of every 25 machines that I get. Sometimes most of the time I don't even check the spark plug. If you get spark, you get spark, period. You know what I mean? So in this case, it's 1 in 25. Probably a bad spark plug. It's filled with Earl dried on there, so I don't even know if you could possibly get spark out of it. But that looks pretty bad. So I have a brand new one that I'm gonna stick in there. So we'll try this spark plug. I sprayed some ether into the hole. See if it kind of wants to turn over now. Okay guys, this is probably one of the worst condition mowers I've had in a long time. So I just put the new spark plug in there. When I was putting it in, I was just looking this over. The spring that moves the governor is gone. It's completely rusted. It was this is the remnants of it. It's like powder almost, you know, right here. And so it's gone from this area here. Also, when you try to move the governor linkage, it won't move, which means that this carburetor is completely seized, you know. The throttle, the lever, it doesn't even move. Oh, there we go. I just freed it. Free! I just freed it. But it still doesn't really move. So, I mean, I'm afraid to even look in this carburetor, but we definitely have to change the carburetor. But I just still want to see if we get spark and this turns over, you know what I mean? I know you know what I mean. So this doesn't have a spring now, but it looks like this is kind of moving. Not in the right way, but at least it's moving a little bit. So we have ether that's inside the chamber. I'm gonna give it a couple of quick pulls, see if it at least turns over. This pull rope doesn't give way. I don't know, it should have at least ignited, you know? I don't think we're getting a spark, fellas. I just removed the spark plug again and it was already dirty. Filled with like mud or something. I think I might have to blow this out a little bit. I'm just gonna, with the spark plug out, pull start, see if anything comes out. I'm gonna hook up a spark plug tester to it, but I'm gonna do it in the garage so it's dark, because you can't see anything out here. Okay, I'm just gonna pull it in the dark, see if you guys see anything. I'll go back to the videotape, see if I see any. I don't know, did you guys see anything? So it looks like we have to replace that carburetor. I'm not sure if I have any. I've used up so many already. I took the rope out of the original one. It seems to have a good rope. Strong, and this is the coil. You think I'm going to try to fix that? No way. I'm just going to chuck this one. That's it. I know years ago I would have kept that and tried to fix it, but I'm going to take this all apart, put the new pull rope back in, try to find a carburetor, put the carburetor in there, And then what else should we do, huh? Have we done everything that there is to do with this thing? Okay, change the pull rope. I had to look for the best one. Like, pulled out like four of these. Finally got it on there. Man, oh man, a lot of work on this one. Okay. Finally got a good pull rope. Now that we already have all this stuff off, might as well take the carburetor off and see what we find. Would you believe it? Out of all the carburetors that I have, I only have 2 used ones. I thought I had some new ones, but I don't have a carburetor for this. Let's see how bad this is. I believe it's the same one as the Quantum. I have to change this fuel line too. It's terrible. This thing needs everything, and that's what I've been getting lately, is one that needs everything. That looks like water in there. As a matter of fact, look, not even coming off. And I'm gonna have to need a spring too somewhere. It doesn't look that bad. Doesn't look good, but yep, blocked. Can't even blow in there. Let's see how bad this carburetor is. Oh, well, all of it came out. I don't know what was in there. Oh my God. Some hard metal is in here. Terrible. I don't even know what that is. That was in there. Oh, that's a what's that called? Damn it. No, that plate that goes into the hole. Forget it. I'm getting too old. Okay. I put a used carburetor on there. Now it's pretty clean. It's definitely cleaner than the one I had, the one that was on there. So we've got a new carburetor. I changed the fuel line too. Just about done everything to this. Spraying some ether in there. I guess I have to put the spark plug in there, don't I? Yeah. Let me do that, and I don't even know where it is. Oh. Now I have a feeling that there's oil, dry oil, all in there where the valves are. I have a feeling because the mouth of the intake manifold is filled with this brown, mushy, like oil and gas mixed residue. So I think it's just really messed up around the valves too. So I don't think this is going to start, but we're going to see if it turns over. All right, spark plug's in. We sprayed. New carb. See if it turns over. Nothing. I'm gonna take the valve cover off. Holy shit. Let's take the valve cover off. Holy cow. This may take 2 days to get this one going.
Henry, why are you messing with such a crappy mower?
Because I've done so much to it already. And I feel like it would be a success story if we got it to go. Well, that doesn't look bad. There's some decent oil. Look, you can see the viscosity of it. It doesn't look as bad as I thought it would look. I don't know why it doesn't start. We saw that there was spark. Spark and fuel should work, but it doesn't. So after putting the valve cover back, I didn't see anything wrong with it. I was pulling it some more and I heard a pop. That was the most I've ever heard. So a pop usually means that there's either water somewhere, which it can't be because it's a new carburetor. Could have been in the gas tank, I'm not sure. But we shot fluid directly through the intake manifold, bypassing if there was any water, right? So I figured that's the timing because it pops, right? I took the flywheel key off and the keyway is perfect. It's right where it's supposed to be. So now I'm dumbfounded. I have no idea why it won't start. I will tell you though that stuff came out of it when I was pulling and it was like brown watery stuff. So that has something to do with it. It's probably really wet in there. I'm thinking about draining the oil and just flooding it with some new oil just to get every bit of liquid out of there, you know, other than, you know, the old bad liquid. Oh man. But now I'm like determined to figure out what's wrong with this thing, you know what I mean? Maybe the governor's bad, I don't know, maybe something like that, you know, but it should have at least turned over, right? Just tried it some more, still won't start. No noise at all, no popping, nothing, no signs of it starting. So I'm just gonna drain the oil, I'm gonna take the spark plug out, I'm gonna blow all kinds of carburetor cleaner through the entire engine. And then try it. I'm at a loss, no idea. We've done like everything to this thing. New Magneto, new carburetor, new fuel line. Check the flywheel key, check the valves, check the throttle linkage, replace the pull rope 3 times with a new engine cover, recoil starter assembly, and got the bail handle, Magneto kill, tested for spark. We got spark, you guys saw it, very good spark. Changed the spark plug. Everything that you can imagine, we've tried to, you know, solve it. And just a pop. That's all I heard so far. Just a pop. So I'm just going to drain the oil, spray carb cleaner into the dipstick, take the spark plug out, spray, flood the area with carburetor cleaner just to get all that stuff out, put fresh oil in, and then try. So I think that the valves aren't closing correctly because I took the carburetor off again. I know you guys can't see, but inside is like very corroded, filled with stuff. So I think that the valves are not seating, which would require me to take the head off. I don't know if I want to do that. So I just put 10 ounces of new fresh oil in there, and I just tried it. Still doesn't start. So this is the carnage of what we've done today. Pull ropes, handles, carburetors, recoil starters, reels, springs, coils, engine covers, magnetos. I guess all we got accomplished today was to know that it has spark. So I think that that's what it is. I think that the valves are not seating, and I need to take the head off and clean the valves. So I don't think I'm going to do that today. I'll see if I feel like doing it tomorrow. I'll see you later. So can you believe the amount of work we did to this thing? I knew this was going to be a pain in the ass when I first laid eyes on it. But you know what? Now that I'm already invested in it, therefore all of my work is going to go to waste if I just say, forget about it, I'm going to throw it away or part it out or something like that. So I'm thinking that it could be a few things, both requiring the cylinder head to be removed. I think that this thing was practically submerged in water or something, all right? And that there was tons of water in the engine compartment as well as the gas tank. I think maybe it was left outside, water got into the gas tank, made its way into the combustion chamber, into the crankcase, and mixed with the water, overflowed. That's why the carburetor is all full of oil and water mixed in there, you know. And I think that the rings are compressed in the piston, not getting any compression. Or there's so much gook in between the valve seats that the valves aren't closing correctly or not seating. It's one of those things or both. And so we're gonna do another episode when I have time. But today's episode was more than everything. I mean, recoil starter twice, right, with the pull rope. You got the spark plug, you got the oil change, you got the kill flywheel brake mechanism. We checked the flywheel key, got the rust off the magnets, replaced the magneto, replaced the carburetor, worked out the bail cable handle along with it, and I mean that's about enough for one day, you know what I mean? But you get to a point where you're like, I want to know what's wrong with it, you know? Not so much getting this ready to go and stuff, which is obviously my intention, but now you're almost like a quest. It's a quest for you to get this running, you know? Normally I would definitely not spend this amount of time and effort to get a simple push mower engine to work. But now I'm vested in it, I almost feel like I need to do it, you know? So in my next episode, I'll take the head off and we'll see whether or not those rings are compressed. And if they are, I'll try to uncompress them, you know what I mean? Clean it up, get it so that the rings come out. It's a different story if the bore is completely trashed, but if it's feasible, I'll try to get this going. Then, of course, even if we do get the engine going, still haven't even addressed the transmission yet, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's it for today. We'll see you guys all next time on Mowers and Blowers.
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. Later.